This episode is sponsored by True Choice Insurance. Here at True Choice, we take a different philosophy when it comes to providing you with your insurance options. We emphasize the value of the products we offer, instead of playing on the fear of you not being protected in your time of need. True Choice is affiliated with more than 60 insurance companies. This makes us one of the most independent agencies in the state of Texas. Please visit TrueChoiceInsurance.com for all your insurance needs.
Salute. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. I see everybody in the comment section. Hashtag.
Yes. You know who it is. It's your favorite host, the man behind the mic of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, K-Sap. What's up? We back at it again. It's on this Thursday evening, around about 6:50 Central Standard Time. Man. Give the live a chance to catch up to some people. To get up in here, man, I don't know if you got your YouTube notifications on. I don't know if YouTube is sending the notifications out that I'm live, but it seems like nobody's getting the notifications because we only got 10 people watching so far. Just wait for some people to come in the comment section, man. We can get the live started. I see you in the building in the dark with a smile. One of my moderators has already came in. But yeah, we back. Y'all see the title of the show, man. Mary Kay, man. It's time to give it up. Mary Kay, man, she's out here. She don't know what she want to talk about. She don't know what side she wants on. She don't know if she's with Shador, she's against Shador. It's crazy, man. Everybody but Shador seems like, man. These Cleveland media beat writers And these insiders, man, they in the trick bag right now. But it is what it is, man. Got some things that we want to talk about, man. Now that I see that the Arizona Cardinals released Kyler Murray, now Mary Kay's talking about a possibility of going out there getting Kyler Murray right now and bringing him in to start over Shador Sanders. It's kind of crazy. But we ain't going to be here long tonight. Man, we just wanted to come on real quick, touch bases. Let's talk about some things, man. But, yeah, it's kind of crazy, man. We in here. We in the building, man. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know the vibes. Seems like, man, Shador Sanders, man, can't catch a break from the Cleveland media, man. It's everybody but Shador, man. It's everybody but Shador, man. And the crazy thing about it is, it's wild because, Shador Sanders going into his second year. I mean, the Cleveland media not even giving him a chance. Not even giving him a chance because now you're looking at things like this. Anybody but Shador. These are the quarterbacks that the Cleveland media has talked about replacing Shador Sanders. Knowing that we know Dylan Gabriel is not in the runnings for quarterback one, but you still give him an opportunity to go out there and compete. But he's almost like an afterthought. But all these quarterbacks that I'm showing you right here, from Kirk Cousins to Malik Willis to Mac Jones, Ty Simpson, and now Kyler Murray, these are all the quarterbacks that they want to bring in to replace Shador Sanders and not give Shador Sanders a chance as quarterback one in Cleveland. So, man, it's crazy, man. We talk about it all the time, man, that the Cleveland media is fickle. The only thing they want to do is talk about Shador Sanders, undermine a lot of things that he does. We saw what Acho had to say. Acho talking about Shador's out there kissing Todd Monken's ass just because he bought him a birthday gift. It's kind of crazy, man. But I want y'all to listen to what Mary Kay was talking about on 92.3 The Fan today when she was talking about Kyler Murray. They should go out and get Kyler Murray. I want you guys to take a listen.
Possibilities of him coming to Cleveland are?
Well, I don't know really what the possibilities are, but if I were the Cleveland Browns, I would be kicking the tires on Kyler Murray. I would be checking into it. I would be reaching out to his agent. I don't know if they have done that yet or not, but I would certainly be doing that. I would not be surprised if they have or will, because that's what you do. When you say you're leaving no stone unturned in your quest to find your starting quarterback and a Pro Bowler like that becomes available, or a former Pro Bowler becomes available, then you do go out and you check into it. So that's what I would be doing. And if you can get him at a bargain basement price, why not take a flyer on him? He might be someone who could come in here and help you, because even though you're intrigued and excited about what Deshaun Watson brings to the table, no one really knows what he's going to be able to do so far removed from a full season of starting. And then Shador Sanders has shown a ton of promise, and as Todd Monken has stated, has elite ability and elite playmaking ability. But Kyler Murray has done it more recently than them. He's had some injuries, but he's had some really nice seasons. And when you surround a guy like that with a really good defense, a good running game, and some talent, who knows what he might be able to do.
Mary Kay with us on the show. Well, could Myles, this is a weird question, piggybacking off the previous commentary here, but could Myles show some leadership in terms of going out and getting him? I mean, they do seem to be good buddies, good friends. Could Myles persuade him to come to Cleveland? Would that be something that they'd want to do?
Well, if they want him, I mean, you would use everything that you can to get a player like that here if you really want him that much. I haven't been able to determine yet what their feelings are or what their thoughts on it, because I think it will come down to a couple of different things, of course, as it always does, money and opportunity. He's not going to come somewhere unless he has an opportunity to start, and not just an opportunity, but some pretty good assurances that he's going to start, and you might have to back that up with the money. So it comes down to those things, and there will be plenty of teams, I think, that will be interested in him, especially because of the economics of it all. So, you've got to provide him with some assurances that you're going to be able to come in here and get a starting job.
Were you able to get any kind of a sense, Mary Kay, when all was said and done with your reporting in Indy about how people feel about this quarterback?
Now, listen to what Mary Kay, her answer is to Anthony Lima's question about being at the combine on what feel and what sense did you get out of Cleveland in their quarterback room. Just listen to Mary Kay's answer, because the things that she said earlier about going out, kicking Kyler Murray's doors down and things like that. Now just listen to how she responds to his question. That's why I said Mary Kay is fickle, man. She's in the trick bag right now. But take a listen to what Mary Kay had to say.
Room and how aggressive ultimately they're really going to be.
Well, I came away from Indy thinking that the Browns were pretty content, and I don't know if that's exactly the right word, but that they were pretty ready to go forward with Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders.
Now, do you hear how that sounds? She said this is what she got out of it. She's content. The Browns are content on moving forward with Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders. So why is all this other nonsense being talked about, these other quarterbacks coming in to Cleveland to upstart Shador Sanders? See, what the Cleveland media needs to be talking about is the big trade they made to get an upgrade at the offensive lineman position from Houston. That's what they need to be talking about. That's what they need to be focused on, the offensive line replacements, not Shador Sanders replacements, not people that's going to come in and try to take Shador Sanders' job. You need to be focusing on what happened to get you jump-started going into the draft on the great acquisition of your offensive tackle that you just got from Houston. That's what they need to be talking about. That's what the Cleveland media does. They don't want to focus on that. They want to focus on everything surrounded around Shador Sanders, on trying to bring Shador Sanders replacement in, not even giving the second year, quarterback a chance. That's what I'm saying. So this is the stuff that I'm talking about. Because you got everything going on, but you talking about your quarterback. Talk about the huge acquisition you made the other day for your offensive lineman. See, they don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about them inquiring Titus Howard from the Houston Texans. They don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about Shador Sanders. Let's continue.
And see what they could do with those two guys in a competition, and then which one of those could emerge from that and what that player can do this season.
Now you heard, man, that's the stuff that I'm talking about. They want to talk about all this stuff, but they don't want to talk about Titus Howard, the great upgrade they got at offensive lineman. They still want to talk about Shador Sanders. every time a quarterback hits the free agent market, and some quarterback get released, they always talking about, let's bring this quarterback in. And I feel that, they always talk about woulda, coulda, shoulda, and this is what they should do. And see, the reason why I think Mary Kay is talking like that, I think some of her access has been denied, man. She don't get the things that she got when Kevin Stefanski was around. Because Todd Monken don't play that. And I think that's the issue. Mary Kay doesn't have too much to talk about. So now Kyler Murray has been released by the Arizona Cardinals, and now they want to bring Kyler Murray into Cleveland to upstart Shador Sanders. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. Man, we got 25 people in here watching, man. Do me a favor. Drop a like on the video as you come in. Even the ones that are watching from the back. Drop a like on the video. So what do y'all think about Mary Kay Cabot talking about I would be kicking the doors down to go get Kyler Murray? Put in the chat how y'all feel about that. Because that is some crazy stuff, man. And I told y'all, it's anything but Shador. And see, they should be talking about the upgrade that they got in the offensive lineman, Titus Howard from the Houston Texans. That is a massive upgrade. That is some big beef up front. That'll get you jump-started going into the 2026 draft. That'll give you some wiggle room where now you can look at it like this and say to yourself, at the number 6 pick, we can go out and get ourselves another offensive lineman or get ourselves a big play wide receiver. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. See, if you go back and listen to what Mary Kay said, she even alluded to it. She even said that Kyler Murray has been injured. Now, why would you take a chance on another injury-riddled quarterback and you still got one in your locker room in Deshaun Watson? Why would you even do that? This is the stuff that I'm talking about. The Cleveland media, they're so fickle. Why would you take a chance on another injury-riddled quarterback? Ain't Kyler Murray coming off of an injury? And you talking about bringing him in? And see, this is what I be trying to tell you guys, man. I be trying to tell you guys that they want anybody but Shador. And see, this is the problem. These are all the quarterbacks that they want to bring in. They want to bring in all these quarterbacks right here to upstart Shador Sanders. And then at the end, she talks about Cleveland standing fast. Even Todd Monken has said, man, they not even pressed to go out and get somebody on the outside. This is what I'm talking about. Exactly. Coach CJ 888. Exactly. That's what they do. This is the rabbit hole that we got to go down. This is the rabbit hole that we going down because of the fact that they want anybody but Shador. And so they make up stuff. I totally agree with everything that you're saying. Totally agree with it. Let's get to some of these comments. Let's go ahead and get to some of these comments. Lyman's eating everything Mary Kay is saying, shaking my head. That's what they do. Salute, great brother. The cream always rises to the top. Miss Mary Kay, a.k.a. Karen, where's the supercomputer? Whatever happened to him or Miss Karen? That's right. This is crazy. It is crazy. Collar ain't better than 12. He's going to be injured. Yeah, that's the problem that I have. You want to bring in another injury-riddled quarterback when you got a guy that's perfectly healthy. And we heard what Mel Kiper said. Everybody thought that Shador Sanders could not, take the punishment from NFL teams if he gets sacked the way he got sacked in college. But Shador took a licking and kept on ticking. Kept getting licked and kept on ticking. Sabotaging Sanders 2.0, shaking my head. Yeah. Only because the last name is Sanders. Yeah, and see, that's the problem. See, they didn't want Todd Monken. They didn't want Todd Monken as the head coach, man. Because he has come down and really has shut down this Cleveland media, man. This Cleveland media, man, they lost in the shuffle, man. They don't have no, like what, hold on, what did they always say last year? They're inside sources. Sources around the team are telling me. See, we ain't heard none of that. We ain't heard none of that come out of none of the Cleveland insiders' mouths that sources around the team are telling me this information. AB got it on. Look, he got it on shutdown. He got it on lockdown. And see, that's the problem. That's the problem. See, they don't have no inside sources. So who was the mole? Who was the mole? Kevin Stefanski must have been giving Mary Kay all kinds of information that she could run with. Now she has limited information that she can run with. I mean, she has limited information. So now you just come out and say anything. If you throw a bunch of mud on the wall, something's going to stick. That's all they're doing is trying to throw a bunch of mud on the wall and see if it sticks. But it is what it is. It is what it is, man. But that's what I'm saying. The Cleveland Browns, man, they went and made a great acquisition here in the offseason. They went and traded and got Titus Howard from the Houston Texans. That's a big upgrade. And I agree, Andrew Berry got stuff on lock. He ain't tipping his cap, man. But the Cleveland media don't want to talk about that upgrade. They want to talk about replacing Shador Sanders. Not even trying to give the young man a chance. That's how diabolical it is. Oh yeah, they running, look. They running with anything right now. They have limited things to talk about, man. Limited things to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I understand that a lot of people don't listen to the Cleveland Browns media, but you just got to pay attention, man, because they put these narratives out there, man, that we have to talk about. We have to talk about. But see, look, when their well runs dry, they don't really have nothing to talk about. That's the problem. And see, they running out of things to talk about. But Mary Kay, she basically said they need to be kicking down the door for Kyler Murray, kicking the tires off. She said that. Now listen, I'm gonna play it again for those that didn't listen and didn't hear it. So I want y'all to listen to what Mary Kay Cabot had to say. I want y'all to take a listen.
honestly the truth of everything. All right, Kyler Murray, the possibilities of him coming to Cleveland are.
Well, I don't know really what the possibilities are, but if I were the Cleveland Browns, I would be kicking the tires on Kyler Murray. I would be checking into it. I would be reaching out to his agent. I don't know if they have done that yet.
That do y'all hear how Mary Kay sounds? She said, I'd be kicking in the tires, kicking down the doors, waving in the 4-4s to go get Kyler Murray. But I want y'all to continue to listen to how she sounds. I just want y'all to listen to how she sounds, man. Just take a listen. Just pay close attention to how she sounds.
Or not, but I would certainly be doing that. I would not be surprised if they have or will, because that's what you do when you say you're leaving no stone unturned in your quest to find your starting quarterback, and a Pro Bowler like that becomes available, or a former Pro Bowler becomes available, then you do go out and you check into it. So that's what I would be doing. And if you can get him at a bargain basement price, why not take a flyer on him? He might be someone who could come in here and help you, because even though you're intrigued and excited about what Deshaun Watson brings to the table, no one really knows what he's going to be able to do so far removed from a full season of starting. And then Shador Sanders has shown a ton of promise, and as Todd Monken has stated, has elite ability and elite playmaking ability. But Kyler Murray has done it more recently than them. He's had some injuries, but he's had some really nice seasons. And when you surround a guy like that with a really good defense, a good running game, and some talent, who knows what he might be able to do.
Mary Kay with us on the show. Well, could Myles, this is a weird question, piggybacking off the previous commentary here, but could Myles show some leadership in terms of going out and getting him? I mean, they do seem to be good buddies, good friends. Could Myles persuade him to come to Cleveland? Would that be something that they'd want to do?
Well, if they want him, I mean, you would use everything that you can to get a player like that here if you really want him that much. I haven't been able to determine yet what their feelings are or what their thoughts on it, because I think it will come down to a couple of different things, of course, as it always does, money and opportunity. He's not going to come somewhere unless he has an opportunity to start, and not just an opportunity, but some pretty good assurances that he's going to start, and you might have to back that up with the money. So it comes down to those things, and there will be plenty of teams, I think, that will be interested in him, especially because of the economics of it all. So, you've got to provide him with some assurances that you're going to be able to come in here and get a starting job.
Were you able to get any kind of a sense, Mary Kay, when all was said and done with your reporting in Indy about how people feel about this quarterback room and how aggressive ultimately they're really going to be?
Well, I came away from Indy thinking that the Browns were pretty content, and I don't know if that's exactly the right word, but that they were pretty ready to go forward with Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders and see what they could do with those two guys in a competition, and then which one of those could emerge from that and what that player can do this season.
Now, you heard what Mary Kay said, right? And the crazy thing about it is now they trying to use Myles Garrett as a pawn to see if he can go out there and reach out to Kyler Murray and bring him in. You see what the Cleveland media does? Now, it's funny, the comment came across the screen about Myles Garrett can't even do the speed limit. Yeah, Myles Garrett, once again, he flips his car over. I don't even see how Myles Garrett is still driving. I think he got like 9 speeding tickets, man, from the course of the time that he's been in the league. So I don't know what's going on with Myles. Myles needs to get a driver. Yeah. Yeah, her access needs to be denied, Asanto. Yeah. That access needs to be denied, man. And I think she got limited access, man, because last year she was feeding off of everything that Kevin Stefanski was talking about. And that's what the narratives that she was creating. She can't create no new narratives now. So now she's reaching because Todd Monken and Andrew Berry are not giving her nothing Asante. All right, Asante. I'm glad we got the correct pronunciation of your name. Asante. All right, I got you. Gotcha. We got you, brother. So, she just putting stuff out there now. Now she's reaching. Now she's talking about all these other quarterbacks that she would like to come in. Because now her access has been denied. Todd Monken ain't giving her too much. Her and Todd Monken and Andrew Berry are up to something. And see, the Cleveland media, I understand that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And Mary Kay is saying, if I was Myles Garrett, can Myles Garrett go out there and reach out to Kyler Murray, reach out to his agent or something like that? Leave him out of that. Yeah. Going back to when 12 started, finally feels like it was allowed because it was time for bad weather and just knew he was going to fail. He showed them he is Himothy. Yeah, and that's the same thing that Mel Kiper been saying. See, y'all threw Shador Sanders, and I talked about it leading up to when he took over the starting job. Like, we already knew that Shador Sanders could play in inclement weather. We saw him in Colorado. We saw him in that Baylor game, right? We saw what he can do in inclement weather. See, they didn't know what he could do in inclement weather. He got out there and he proved a lot of people wrong. Played in the snow, played in the frigid temperatures, and was successful. Played in the frigid temperatures against Tennessee and was successful until Kevin Stefanski sabotaged him at the end. We saw how he could throw the ball in the weather conditions. That is nothing. Shador was built for that. Mel Kiper has been telling people. Mel Kiper has been standing 10 toes down. Mel Kiper has told everybody that Shador Sanders can play in all weather. Weather don't bother Shador Sanders. We saw the game when it was frigid cold and he tore his, a nail off his pinky. Wrap him up. He went back in there and still was successful. See, this is what they don't want to tell you. But what they want to do is get everybody but Shador. Cleveland, let's start talking about the upgrades that you've made at the offensive lineman position with Titus Howard. Some beef that y'all got up front. Some beef that y'all got up front. What y'all brought in Titus Howard from the Houston Texans. That is a great get. But they don't want to talk about that. See, when you talk about replacing the offensive lineman, they don't want to talk about that. They always talk about the quarterbacks that they want to bring in to replace Shador Sanders. Yeah. I also feel like after the first preseason game, he confronted Tony. It was like, oh, heck no. How dare you confront this? What kind of man? Yeah. So now Mary Kay, like she got limited things that she can report on. So you make up what you can report. Now that she don't have, because like I said earlier, do y'all remember? I want y'all to think back. Do y'all remember when we was covering it all 2025 through the NFL season with the Cleveland Browns? They always said, sources around the team are telling me that Shador Sanders is not ready. Shador is this, Shador is that. Have we heard anything from the Cleveland media or the Cleveland insiders about my sources are telling me? They don't have that access. Todd Monken shut all that down. Todd Monken has shut all that down, guys. Todd Monken and Andrew Berry's not playing this year. A lot of people were skeptical about Andrew Berry last year. But Andrew Berry is on to something. Andrew Berry made a nice little acquisition here in the offseason with Titus Howard. And that all started with the hiring of Todd Monken. Do y'all remember when everybody was like, oh, Greg Schwartz is the front runner to get the head coaching position? And when Jim Schwartz did not get that head coaching position, what happened? He got salty. He got salty, put his resignation in from being a defensive coordinator. And all Tony Grossi had a fit. And then Rizzo said, Jim Schwartz ain't the only one that can coach Myles Garrett in this defense. Had the Cleveland media crashing out at that time. And that's the crazy part. Now that you bringing in a new offensive coordinator, now that you bring in a defensive coordinator, it's time for change around in Cleveland. And that's what they got. And them Cleveland insiders that used to just say anything because they had access to Kevin Stefanski, times are changing, man. You have limited access. You have limited access. You have, look, when they brought Travis Switzer in, right? When they brought Travis Switzer in, underneath Todd Monken as the offensive coordinator, you know times have changed. Times have changed. And then you get a vote of confidence from your offensive coordinator when he talked about Shador Sanders. See, they don't want to tell you that. See, when the vote of confidence that they get, when you completely are mentioning Shador Sanders' names around this part and around these camps now, see, people don't like that. They don't like the fact that Shador is out in front now. Todd Monken had already made it clear that I'm excited to get to work with him. And see, we didn't hear that last year from Kevin Stefanski. I'm excited to work with 12. I'm excited to work with Shador Sanders. Barely mentioned his name last year. Every time somebody would ask him a question about Shador, he would hopscotch around it. And see, that's the problem. Now they got somebody in there that is not scared to say Shador Sanders' name. And when they hired Mike Rutenberg as the defensive coordinator to replace Jim Schwartz, the media don't like that. The media don't like that. Shout out to Selmore Fudd, man. Remember for 4 months, man. Yeah, AB standing on business. And you know he's standing on business. That's the thing about it is he's standing on business. And see what happened was the hiring of Todd Monken. And then Todd Monken said, okay, let me assemble my staff, right? So let me go out and get Travis Switzer as my offensive coordinator. And then it didn't stop there. Then you went out and got you a defensive coordinator that came from the Atlanta Falcons, Rutenberg, right? So when Mike Rutenberg came in and Jim Schwartz was so salty that he didn't get that head coaching job, why did Jim Schwartz put his resignation in? Can anybody tell me why did Jim Schwartz put his resignation in? This is what we don't understand. Why did Jim Schwartz put his resignation in? Because change is coming. And see, when that change comes, you know what else happens? some of them insiders and them Cleveland beat writers, they lost in the shuffle because they don't have access to the things that they had access when Kevin Stefanski was running the ship. Todd Monken, it seems like he's running a tight ship. Seems like Todd Monken is running a tight ship, guys. It seems like Todd Monken is running a tight ship, guys. Exactly, Selmore Fudd. I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. The change is coming. The change is coming. And the crazy thing about it is all the quarterbacks that people are talking about bringing to, let's go down a list of the quarterbacks that the Cleveland media wants to bring in, and we're gonna evaluate these guys. We're gonna evaluate these guys. We got Kirk Cousins. He's older now. He's probably lost a step. I don't think that Kirk Cousins would fit in the Cleveland offense. I would love to see Kirk Cousins go back to Minnesota. He wouldn't fit with Cleveland. Malik Willis. You're going to have to pay Malik Willis. They already got an $800 billion quarterback in Deshaun Watson still there that they have to address. So Malik Willis is not better than Shador Sanders. Then now they're trying to kick the door down for Ty Simpson of Alabama, picking him at 6 or 21. It doesn't make sense. Mac Jones. That's Mac Jones. That's why Mac Jones is bounced around the NFL the way he is, man, because he didn't pan out to what he was supposed to be coming out of Alabama. Now you got Kyler Murray that you want to talk about. Injury-riddled Kyler Murray, just coming off an injury. Why would you bring another injured quarterback into your quarterback room? And the way Mary Kay said, you go out and spend some money on that. Nah, you don't want to spend no money on Kyler Murray. If you can get him at a bargain deal and he's willing to come on a bargain deal, so be it. And then you look at Shador Sanders, a young stud that got aura, brings the culture, brings in the it factor, brings in the leadership qualities. He's a likable young man. But this is what they do. They want all these other quarterbacks instead of giving Shador Sanders a chance. And you actually got Shador Sanders on a bargain because you got him in the 5th round, 144th pick. And if you really look at it, I'm glad you brought that up, Selmore Fudd. If you really look at it, the crazy thing about it is, if you look at Tyler Huntley and Malik Willis, they got a similar style. And Tyler Huntley couldn't even make it out of Cleveland. He got let go and the Ravens picked him up. But you want to bring in Malik Willis and say Malik Willis is better and he gives you a better chance of winning than Shador Sanders? Like, where they do that at? That's what I'm talking about. Where they do that at? Where do they do that at? This is what I'm talking about. Where do they do that at? You got Malik Willis and Tyler Huntley, similar styles. Backup quarterbacks for a reason. Malik Willis couldn't even start in Tennessee. Got his job ripped from him. And then he was bounced around. But y'all want to bring all these bounced around quarterbacks into Cleveland when you drafted one in the 5th round and you drafted one in the 3rd round, and it goes to show you that your 5th round quarterback is way better than the 3rd round draft choice that you made in Dylan Gabriel. Because now Dylan Gabriel is an afterthought. Dylan Gabriel is an afterthought. And that's what I'm saying. That guy right there, that guy right there, that's the quarterback. That's who you need to get. That's who you need to start. That's your quarterback, 12. 12 is the guy in Cleveland. So let's rock out. Let's lace him up and let's rock out. Now, simply, Sarah, I mean, I understand that they say Todd Monken, but Todd Monken gets the best out of his players. Look at Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett wasn't athletic. He got 2 national championships out of Stetson Bennett. He's going to look and see, people are pissed off because of the interactions that Shador Sanders and Todd Monken have. When Todd Monken was introduced as the Browns head coach, Shador Sanders walked right into the office, greeted him. We heard the exchange. We heard the encounter. Now Todd Monken's birthday was right around the corner from Shador's, and Shador Sanders gifted him with a porcelain horse head. And when he gifted him with the porcelain horse head, everybody went crazy. The internet was on a buzz. That picture was going viral. We heard what Emmanuel Acho said on Speak Easy about Shador Sanders out there kissing ass. Where do they do that at? And y'all right, man. Dylan Gabriel was an afterthought. And there was reports out there that Kevin Stefanski is not even really sold on Michael Penix coming back after injury. And, you know, he would rather bring Dylan Gabriel over to Atlanta. He would like to bring Dylan Gabriel back over to Atlanta. But, you know, I feel bad for Dylan Gabriel because he's caught up in the matrix. He's caught up in this BS. This is the BS that Kevin Stefanski started. Kevin Stefanski started all this bullshit. Now it's up to Todd. It's up to Todd Monken. It's up to Todd Monken to clean it up. Him and Travis Switzer, it's up to them to clean it up, man. So we won't have no more misunderstandings about what's going on in that quarterback room by the time OTA start. We don't have to have the head coach out here lying the way Kevin Stefanski was lying. Kevin Stefanski was just a lot of cover up. He was just saying stuff just to cover some things up because he didn't want to face the music. He did not want to face the music. He did not want to face the music. And see, the crazy thing about it is when Kevin Stefanski was doing all that covering up, Mary Kay Cabot, Tony Grossi, Anthony Lima, Jason Lloyd, Zach Taylor. I mean, you name them. They all was feeding into this stuff, man. They was so intrigued by everything. Now that you see a new regime has came in, you know, you really ain't got nothing to talk about, man. Because it's quiet around that camp. Todd Monken ain't, Todd Monken is playing with a poker face. He playing with a poker face. And now you got the insiders talking about anything but Shador. Let's talk about the huge acquisition that you got in Titus Howard. And there's more moves to come. I think Cleveland has to make up for what happened last year in the draft. And I think Andrew Berry is going to stand 10 toes down and he's going to get it right. I don't even want to talk about Haslam. I don't even want to talk about Haslam because it's on Andrew Berry and Todd Monken. When that war room starts on that draft day, when that war room starts, We're going to see who's standing on business. We're going to see who's standing on business. Oh, yeah. Shador stays in the lab, man. And what they say, out of sight, out of mind. You know, you come in, and the crazy thing, and, you know, Shador going around the facility and stuff like that, getting familiar with everything. It's a beautiful thing to see. A beautiful thing to see. See, they don't want that. Out of sight, out of mind. That's right. Shador working. He in the lab, man. He probably, hey, look, Shador probably on speed dial with some of them receivers. And I tell you, look, and I tell you this. Hey, we can't give up on Jerry Jeudy. They can't give up on Jerry Jeudy, man. You can't just throw Jerry Jeudy out there. Don't give up on Jerry Jeudy. I think Jerry Jeudy, he's on a comeback tour. I don't think Jerry Jeudy really was feeling Kevin Stefanski. I really don't think Jerry Jeudy was feeling Kevin Stefanski. I know that Jerry Jeudy and Shador Sanders got into a little heated discussion on the sideline. We all remember that. But I don't think Jerry Jeudy was feeling Kevin Stefanski from the start when Dylan Gabriel was giving them keys to start. I think that's where Jerry Jeudy's body language went downhill. Nah, you can't give up on Jerry Jeudy. It's always a chance to get redemption. And I think Jerry Jeudy will be ready. I think Shador Sanders and Jerry Jeudy got some dialogue. I think they got some rapport. But they still need a big play receiver, man. They still need a big play receiver. And we heard what Quinshon Judkins said when they talked about Shador Sanders making a Pro Bowl. Look, Quinshon Judkins was excited for Shador Sanders. He said he deserved it the way he worked his tail off. See, that's a vote of confidence. That'd be Stephon Diggs, good leadership. Good leadership. Stephon Diggs. It's options out there. It's a lot of receivers that's been released. Darnell Mooney. They might some team might give up on Darnell Mooney. You see what happened to old buddy in Chicago, got traded to Buffalo. You see that? Moore. You see that, right? So, I mean, anything can happen in this offseason because I never saw the fact that Cleveland was going to make a trade and go get Titus Howard from the Houston Texans. Now that's a look, that was the first step in building their offensive line. He's an established starter. And then look, he received a new 3-year, $63 million contract. And see, look, Titus Howard was even surprised he got traded. He was surprised he got traded to the Cleveland Browns. He established starter for 7 years, man. And he was surprised. And that's a big upgrade. People don't understand, man. Back in 2019, Titus Howard was a first-round pick. And he started over 93 games in his 7-year span in Houston, man. Man, look, and what people don't understand about Titus, he didn't give up a sack this year. He is a great pass blocker. He blocks well. Great pass protection. He struggled, in some run schemes, but pass blocking, he didn't give up a sack. I take that any day. Oh, y'all said Diggs ain't it, especially for the dog pound? Sell more for what type of receiver do you think that Cleveland needs to bring in? What type of receiver you think Cleveland needs to bring in? Hey, get down in the chat and let me know what type of receiver y'all think Cleveland should bring in. Because if I'm Cleveland, I'm not giving up on Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy could be your second option, man. Bring in another big time play receiver. Bring him in. I'm not going to give up on Jerry Jeudy. I like Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond, it looked like he was Shador Sanders' deep ball threat. Thrash, you got to see what they're going to do with him. Hey, Harold Fannin Jr., hope he's healthy. But you saw the connection that Shador Sanders had with Harold Fannin Jr. We know David Njoku's out the door. The defense is going to be solid with the new defensive coordinator. Harrison or Olave. That sounds good. Trade a second-round pick for either Harrison Jr. or Olave. So you think Harrison Jr. will want to get out of Arizona since Kyler Murray's not there no more? Diggs, he's a spark plug though. Diggs can spark. You got to understand Diggs, he's a constant, man. Diggs is he's a Michael Irvin type receiver. He's a move the chains type guy. And he gets a lot of yak yards. He's small in stature, but he's quick. He got deceptive speed. So Diggs, that's a good option. I wouldn't be mad at that for the Cleveland Browns. I wouldn't be mad at that. Diggs, he moves the chains, man. He got hands. Diggs can catch it Diggs can catch in any weather. That's one of them players that can move the chains, man. Are you saying Marvin Harrison Jr., he feels underutilized? Got you. Well, Marvin Harrison went through a couple frustrations last year. But I think, Diggs would be that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting, man. I think that would be something that, Cleveland would look into. Like they say about the quarterback situation, they're going to leave no stone unturned. You got to look at all the positions. You can't leave none of the positions unturned. What's up, KD? What's up? Mods coming in. Yeah, so you can't leave no stone unturned. But you see how we get on here, we talk about things that the Cleveland Browns need to address? But all the media, Jalen Naylor, he got it. Man, look, man, Minnesota, I don't know what Jalen Naylor is a sneaky good receiver, man. That would be another one that would be a good acquisition for Cleveland. Diggs ain't a troublemaker, man. I don't think Diggs is. I think Diggs gets misunderstood in his, interviews and stuff. I don't think he's a troublemaker, man. Jalen Naylor, that's good. There are some good receivers out there that can help Cleveland out. There's some good receivers out there. And then, it's a lot of things that Cleveland, need to look at, man. Just like Shador said, man, he wouldn't mind his brother coming in, backup safety. Yeah, it's a lot that, we talk about, but see, the Cleveland media is so fascinated and fixated on Shador Sanders' replacement. How are you going to talk about replacing a quarterback that out of 7 games went 3-4, possibly could have been 4-3, 5-2? Yeah, look, you look. Faye B Music. I said it. That's what they do. That's what they do, man. Ty Simpson. It's every quarterback but Shador. We talked about it. We talked about it, man. And see that's look. That's why I went to show you. This is why I keep going back to this. Anybody but Shador. These quarterbacks that y'all see right behind me, these are the quarterbacks that they want to bring in to upstart Shador Sanders. Look at Ty Simpson from Alabama. They want Ty Simpson. They want Ty Simpson at number 6. These are all the quarterbacks that they want to bring in to Cleveland. This is the quarterbacks that they want to bring in. These are all the quarterbacks, man. So, man, look. Hey, Sap, Todd and Barry is going to make sure Shador has the tools to ball out, and they will get in what he needs. And Cleveland media hates that. I've been saying that. That's what the Cleveland media is so mad that Todd Monken is that head coach, man. See, they don't want to see Cleveland succeed. That's the bottom line. They don't care about if Cleveland wins or loses. All they want to do is talk about Shador Sanders in a negative light. That's all they want to do. Because Jay Crawford already told you guys, they're going to talk about Shador Sanders regardless. They're going to talk about how he wears his hat, how he wears his glasses, how he walks. Because he's a lightning rod. If they take Ty Simpson at number 6, that would be so diabolical. That would be diabolical, guys. If they take Simpson at 6, that's like a slap in the face, man. If they take Ty Simpson at 6, man, I wouldn't even know what to say. Because, see, this is what they do. Cleveland media and these Cleveland insiders, they could care less about the team. They could care less. As long as they can talk about Shador Sanders in a negative light, that's what they're going to do. I've told you guys plenty of times. The Cleveland media is in the trick bag. And when Todd Monken was introduced as the head coach, that didn't set well with them. Didn't set well with them. That's the problem. It didn't set well with them. Yeah, Todd Monken, like I said, when Todd Monken, when he straps it up in the war room draft night, we're going to see. Because, I mean, I've said it here. I don't care if people don't believe me. Everything points to Shador Sanders as quarterback 1 for 2026. Todd Monken has said it in so many ways, and I know a lot of people have left me comments and messages on videos that I've said that just listen to what Todd Monken is saying. And people are saying, well, he didn't actually come out and say that. Man, look, it doesn't take somebody that is well-versed and smart enough to know what Todd Monken is trying to tell everybody. Because we saw this last year, guys. We saw everything that Kevin Stefanski did not do. We saw Kevin Stefanski not mentioning Shador Sanders' name. We've seen Todd Monken address the elephant in the room. You know, taking it head on when the questions come about Shador, talking about the elite play of Shador Sanders that we saw last year in the last 7 games. We saw glimpses of it, but we saw it in college in Colorado, in Jackson State. And then he's talking about Shador's it factor. Then he's talking about Shador's pinpoint accuracy. He talks about all the good intangibles of Shador Sanders. He's not the type of coach that is going to throw his head guy, the leader of the team, the quarterback, under the bus the way Kevin Stefanski did with Shador Sanders. And that's why when everything come out and they started using this word about Kevin Stefanski sabotaging Shador Sanders, and that picked up steam about him sabotaging, and that was all over social media. That was all over the mainstream media. Everybody was talking about it. And it picked up steam. So now that Todd Monken is the guy, and he's talking about Shador Sanders, oh man. When he was introduced as the head coach, do y'all remember when he was introduced? And Mary Kay Cabot had the first question. She wanted to address the elephant in the room. She wanted to go and dive in head first and ask the question about Shador Sanders. Todd Monken shut her down. And this was all when the Pro Bowl stuff was happening. When Shador Sanders got announced as a Pro Bowl replacement, you heard what Bull said. If I was Shador, I would have never accepted it. Like really going crazy because Shador Sanders was given the nod in the Pro Bowl. It ain't like Shador reached out to them. They reached out to Shador Sanders and said, hey, we're putting you in the Pro Bowl. And Bull, his notion goes, if I was Shador, I would have never took it. I would have turned it down. In what right sense is that? See, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. This is the stuff that I'm talking about. Why would you turn down a Pro Bowl nod that goes on your resume? We didn't already put Emmanuel Acho on blast last night. Like, Emmanuel Acho is so lost in the shuffle right now, man. And Shady McCoy called him out. Because if y'all go back and listen, go look at my video that I did last night talking about Emmanuel Acho when he said that Shador Sanders is brown-nosing and kissing Todd Monken's ass. He said, if I say this because, Shador don't like me, his brother don't like me, his other brother probably don't like me, and the sisters don't like me. So if I say that he's brown-nosing, then they really not going to like me. So I'm not even going to say it. And Shady McCoy said, you just basically said it. So this is how crazy Acho sounded. Like, you don't even think before you even speak. Because with everything that you said, you already said that Shador was kissing ass and brown-nosing. And Shady McCoy said, you just basically already said it. So saying it without saying it, but you said it, and you got called out for it. But then you go to say that when you was in Detroit, you did the same thing. I mean, you can slice it and dice it any way that you want. You can call it brown-nosing, you can call it kissing ass. Shador didn't do nothing wrong. Todd Monken has a love for horses. He races horses. And Shador Sanders just gifted him with a porcelain horse head. Wow. Coach J, hey, Coach CJ. It's a story behind Acho, how he started that channel. Because when somebody called him out on that channel. Because when he started that channel, that was an old channel. That was an old channel that they built up. That was an old channel that was already there, and he just changed the name. And at the time he took over, he probably already had like 100,000 subscribers. Somebody called him out on starting that channel. Detroit Gemini, I'm in Central Standard Time. Central Standard Time. Central Standard Time. What's up, ADP? Yeah, so I mean, basically, man, I mean, this is what they do. This is what they do. Yeah, Craig Tatum. That's somebody called him out on his channel. Because when he got into that debacle on the show that he was with Joy Teller and Shady McCoy, when there was accusations coming down about him and Joy Teller, they found themselves in his lawsuit and they got let go from Fox. That channel that he started Speak Easy on, that YouTube channel was already established. He just took over the name. He bought somebody's YouTube channel and picked up from there. And if you go back and listen to what he said last night, he said, "This is Speak Easy, man. This is what we're doing. We're doing late night chopping it up. We just speaking." Now you caught yourself in the trick bag because Shady McCoy called you out. Shady McCoy called you out. Yeah, we got 87 people in the chat right now. We got 87 people watching the live. Do me a favor, drop a like on the video. Please drop a like on the video. And if you're watching the video on the playback, for anybody that's not chatting, you watch the video on the playback, man. Do me a favor, hype the video up, drop a like, and post a comment. Posting a like and all that stuff is free. But you can join the community. The doors of the church is open. Appreciate all the love and support that you guys been showing me. But we're gonna get this thing back off and cracking. Yeah. He bought the FS1 channel. That is correct. He didn't start from the ground up. See, a lot of people ain't built for this, man. They can't start from the ground up, man. Everybody wants that instant gratification, man. They want that overnight success. Rome wasn't built in a day, man. You got to keep grinding, man. You got to show some authenticity. And that's when people will come, man. So it is what it is, man. So that's why I appreciate all 94 people that's in here watching right now. I appreciate everybody that pulls up because you don't have to be here. But that's what they do in Cleveland, man. That's exactly what they do in Cleveland, man. Cleveland is fickle, man. Cleveland is fickle. Like Joel Embiid said when he got to Philadelphia 76ers, man, and he was injured, man. He said, you got to trust the process, man. Sometimes you got to trust the process, man. You can't cut corners, man. You cannot cut corners, man. You can't cut corners, man. You build it, they'll come. You might not get there as fast as you want, but you'll get there. I've always said this. And ADP can vouch for me. I said this last year, but I started building up my community, and people started coming and gravitating to KSAP and Simply Ball Dropping. I told people that your biggest supporters are people that you don't know. So I got this saying in this quote. Your family and friends don't support you. That's why I sent you strangers. Your family and friends don't support you. That's why I sent you strangers. And look what I've done from there. Everybody that came to my community was strangers to me. They wasn't no friends or family. They were strangers. That's what I'm trying to let people know, man. When your family and friends don't support you, that's why the Lord sends you strangers. Because everybody that came to my community and we started talking basketball last year and football and things like that outside of what I did on my Marriage Chronicles and my roundtable talk, your friends and families wasn't supporting. The man upstairs touched me on the shoulder and he spoke to me and he said, I see your family and friends are not supporting you. That's why I sent you strangers. And everybody that came to my community was a stranger to me. And we built this thing together. That's why I'm telling you, man, you got to build things from the ground up, man. You got to keep pressing forward. And that's what Shador Sanders does, always presses forward. Presses forward. Presses forward. So I like I said, I appreciate everybody that tunes into all my shows. Like I said last week, before I went in the mountains, took me a nice little ski trip up there in Denver. Was up there in Winter Park, Colorado, up in the mountains doing some snowboarding and some snowmobiling. Had a great time with my wife and friends of ours. I've always said, I will be back bigger and better. And this is just the start of it. I mean, look, Detroit Gemini, this Ty Simpson thing, man, that's what I'm saying. Anybody but Shador. And Ty Simpson is a quarterback, University of Alabama. They think highly of Ty Simpson. And the crazy thing about it is, I'm going to say this and I'm going to leave it alone. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. And I go back to what Craig Tatum said. I don't think Todd Monken going to play that. I don't think he going to play. You can interview whoever you want to interview. But I don't think Todd Monken is playing that draft night. Todd Monken got his quarterback. He know he got his quarterback. I mean, it's crazy how quick that the Cleveland media and all these beat writers of Cleveland want to give up on Shador Sanders that quick. That quick. A lot of people never thought Shador Sanders was going to get on the field this year. There was reports out saying he wasn't going to get on the field. That's what the sources inside of the Browns organization or the locker room was telling some of these Cleveland insiders and some of these Cleveland media personnel, that Shador Sanders is not going to get on the field this year. But when Todd McShay and Ian Rappaport broke it, talking about there's a plan to have Shador Sanders play the last 7 games of the season, that came to fruition. That came to fruition, guys. It wasn't the reports that Jason Lloyd and Anthony Lima and Tony Grossi was saying, well, there's some rumblings around the organization that Shador Sanders is not even close to getting on the field. And most likely he won't be on the field in 2025. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Nicole B869 said, throwing the media some bones to take and run around and yap. That's what they was doing all last year. They was yapping. They was big yappers. Yeah, because he really wasn't going to play Shador, but God had other plans for Cleveland. Exactly. And you can't throw a monkey wrench in God's plans. But this is what the Cleveland media insiders were saying, guys. They were saying, sources around the team, I'm getting information from sources on the inside saying that Shador Sanders is not ready and he's not going to get on the field in 2025. Do y'all remember that? I remember that like it was yesterday because I heard the report from Jason Lloyd. I heard it from Anthony Lima. I heard that. But now I haven't heard them say, my inside sources are telling me that Shador Sanders won't see the field in 2026. Because Todd Monken has already shut that down and made it very abundantly clear that he is so excited to start working with Shador Sanders. putting Shador Sanders out in front of everybody. That's what I'm talking about. Putting Shador Sanders out in front. See, that's what they don't want to tell you. See, nobody in the Cleveland media or the Cleveland insiders, it's funny they don't have no inside sources now. They have no leaks. Everything's sealed up. That's what people don't understand. They don't have no leaks. They have no leaks, man. You don't hear them running around talking you don't hear them on UCSS saying, well, my sources on the inside say this. We don't hear that no more. Because if you go back and look at one of the episodes about your sources, G. Bush already cooked all of them about their sources. Already cooked them about their sources. Exactly, Nicole. This is what they say. In my opinion, this is my opinion. They don't have no leaks. Somebody put the stop leak on them. I mean, look, Marlon, you can probably, I wouldn't disagree with you. All the rumors and BS got Stefanski fired, DG afterthought, and Shador quarterback one. I mean, you can run with that because he did get fired. Reason behind that? We really don't have a clear-cut evidence, the reason behind it. But we can make any assumption about that because of everything that we're seeing right now. Because all last year it was nothing about rumors. It was all kinds of leaks. It was inside sources are telling me this. But we don't hear that now. It's a new regime in Cleveland. We don't hear none of that. That's what people don't understand, man. Like, I keep on going back to this. But Todd Monken, that first press conference, when he was introduced as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, and Mary Kay came out there head first. She dove in head first like Trey Songz, and she got shut down. And then Shador Sanders shut that down on the interview he had with that girl Amber at the Pro Bowl. They like double teamed him. They double teamed Mary Kay Cabot. And ever since then, Mary Kay Cabot has been real quiet until today when she started talking that nonsense about bringing Kyler Murray in. Todd Monken had that flex seal ready for them leaks. Yeah. So you can't get nothing. The only thing that people are so upset because what did people get upset about? Todd Monken embracing Shador Sanders when he became the head coach, talking about, we tried to draft your ass last year. It comes full circle. And then all of a sudden, they the picture that's going around the internet that went viral. Todd Monken and Shador Sanders with the porcelain horse head for his birthday. Now people want to talk about that. They want to talk about the birthday gift that Shador Sanders gave Todd Monken. That's the crazy part, y'all. That's the diabolical part. When you don't have nothing to talk about, you want to talk about a porcelain horse head that the quarterback gifted the head coach. And look, Todd Monken ain't post nothing on his social media since 2022. And then all of a sudden, he comes out with that picture of him and Shador Sanders with the porcelain head. How diabolical is that? Todd Monken is playing with these folks, man. Look, Todd Monken hasn't posted nothing on his social media since 2022. And the fact that he posted that picture of him and Shador with the porcelain horse head he got for his birthday, that got him mad, got him upset, man. Oh, that hurt bad, Craig. That hurt bad, Craig. Craig, that hey, Craig, that stung. Hey, that stung him like two wasps. That's right, Nicole, his guy. She's alienated herself with almost every fan in Cleveland. I personally went from indifferent to disgusted by her. Her and other people have made me realize that the MES. What is MES? Yeah, that stung, Craig. Because Todd Monken, look, I don't care what y'all say. Todd Monken sat back and watched this from afar last year. He sat back and watched this from afar last year when they was talking in all these post-game press conferences with Kevin Stefanski and the way Kevin Stefanski was conducting business. Todd Monken said, I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm going to face it head on. And see, what happened was Mary Kay came out there swinging. She thought she was going to hit the jackpot. Todd Monken said, no, no, no. Yes, indeed. Todd Monken said, no, no, no. Todd Monken had, look, they was messy. Look, Nicole, they were real messy. Todd Monken said, I ain't going for it. But like Craig said, that hurt him so bad that Todd Monken posted that picture on his social media. Yeah, he posted that. Look, and got look, it's crazy. Look, check this out. We got 112 people in here watching, man. Make sure y'all drop a like on the video, man. Hey, drop a like on the video, man. This is look, it's crazy because look, Mary Kay, look, her access has been denied. Like Mary Kay has nothing to speak about, man. Like Mary Kay has nothing to write about right now, man. Like she's fiddling. She's fiddling. And that's why 92 to the Ken Carman and Anthony Lima show. That's why they had her on today. Look, hey, I gotta do it, man. Can I do it, chat? Can I play what Mary Kay was talking about today? I just gotta do it one more time, man. For the people that just now joined in the chat, can I play what they was talking about? Look, just sit back, relax, and listen, man. Just take a listen.
Honestly, the truth of everything. All right, Kyler Murray, the possibilities of him coming to Cleveland are?
Well, I don't know really what the possibilities are, but if I were the Cleveland Browns, I would be kicking the tires on Kyler Murray. I would be checking into it. I would be reaching out to his agent. I don't know if they have done that yet.
And y'all heard what Mary Kay said? Mary Kay said, I'll be kicking in the tires. What tires you talking about? She said, I will be kicking in the tires for Kyler Murray. Kicking in the tires.
Or not, but I would certainly be doing that. I would not be surprised if they have or will, because that's what you do when you say you're leaving no stone unturned in your quest to find your starting.
Now, see, Mary Kay took that literally. She said, when Todd Monken and Andrew Berry said, we're not leaving no stone unturned, she took that in a sense to where she's thinking that when they say that, well, we're going to go out and get ourselves another quarterback to replace Shador Sanders. That's what she's thinking.
Quarterback and a Pro Bowler like that becomes available, or a former Pro Bowler becomes available, then you do go out and you check into it. So that's what I would be doing. And if you can get him at a bargain basement price, why not take a flyer on him?
Can I ask y'all a question, chat? Didn't Kyler Murray just come off an injury-riddled season? Did we see Kyler Murray in the last couple games of the year? Wasn't he hurt? Why would you take a chance on another quarterback that's been injury plagued to another cornerback that has already been in there that is worth $90 billion. Like Michael Parsons said. Michael Parsons said you got a $90 billion quarterback in your locker room that you're still paying and ain't seen the field in 2 years. So, I mean, why would you take a chance on Kyler Murray? That's what I'm saying. Mary Kay is reaching. He played 5 games last year. Yes, he was regressing. Shout out to all the CU aunties in the chat. It's crazy.
He might be someone who could come in here and help you, because even though you're intrigued and excited about what Deshaun Watson brings to the table, no one really knows what he's going to be able to do so far removed from a full season of starting. And then Shador Sanders has shown a ton.
And do you hear how crazy Mary Kay said, you don't know what Deshaun Watson is going to give you after being a whole year and a half removed from playing football. But just the other day, you tweeted out talking about Deshaun Watson almost has like a 60% chance of being quarterback 1 for 2026. Come on, guys. Make it make sense, man.
Ton of promise. And as Todd Monken has stated, has elite ability and elite playmaking ability. But Kyler Murray has done it more recently than them. He's had some injuries, but he's had.
Hold up. What has Kyler Murray done? Come on. What has Kyler Murray done? She said he's done it more recently. Look, I mean, look. What has Kyler? What is Mary Kay talking about, guys? I'm laughing at this point. I'm just chuckled.
Some really nice seasons, and when you surround a guy like that with a really good defense, a good running game, and some talent, who knows what he might be able to do.
Mary Kay.
She said now surround Kyler Murray with a good running game and some talent, and you don't know what he's capable of doing. Well, you surround Shador Sanders around with some talent, you don't know what he's capable of doing either. So come on, Mary Kay. Make it make sense. I got you, Mary Kay. Your access is denied. See, I got you where I want you, Mary Kay. And I told you. See, a lot of people can come in here and say, oh, man, why y'all giving Mary Kay this much attention? Because the attention I'm giving Mary Kay is I'm calling her out, putting her on blast. I'm not giving her the attention that y'all think I'm giving her. I'm giving her attention where I'm debunking and picking holes in everything that she says. That's the difference. I'm not piggybacking off of Mary Kay. I'm not Cadillacing with Mary Kay. I'm picking holes in all her stories. I'm picking holes in everything that she says on every interview that she does because she contradicts herself. That's what I'm doing. That's the difference. That's the difference with a lot of these YouTube content creators. That's the difference between what me and G. Bush do. Me and G. Bush pick holes in what they talk about. We keep receipts. We pick holes.
With us on the show. Well, could Myles, this is a weird question, piggybacking off the previous commentary here, but could Myles show some leadership in terms of going out and getting him? I mean, they do seem to be good buddies, good friends. Could Myles persuade him to come to Cleveland? Would that be something that they'd want to do?
Well, if they want him, I mean, you would use everything that you can to get a player like that here if you really want him that much. I haven't been able to determine yet what their feelings are or what their thoughts on it, because I think it will come down to a couple of different things, of course, as it always does, money and opportunity. He's not going to come somewhere unless he has an opportunity to start, and not just an opportunity, but some pretty good assurances that he's going to start, and you might have to back that up with the money. So it comes down to those things, and there will be plenty of teams, I think, that will be interested in him, especially because of the economics of it all. So, you've got to provide him with some assurances that you're going to be able to come in here and get a starting job.
Were you able to get any kind of a sense, Mary Kay?
Now, hey, guys, this is very important. Listen to what Anthony Lima asked Mary Kay. And out of everything that we just heard Mary Kay say, just remember everything that Mary Kay said about Kyler Murray and these quarterbacks on people bringing these quarterbacks in. Now I want y'all to listen to her response when Anthony Lima asked her a direct question and listen how she responded to it.
When all was said and done with your reporting in Indy about how people feel about this quarterback room and how aggressive ultimately they're really going to be?
Well, I came away from Indy thinking that the Browns were pretty content, and I don't know if that's exactly the right word, but that they were pretty ready to go forward with Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders and see what they could do with those two guys in a competition, and then which one of those could emerge from that and what that player can do this season.
Now, do y'all hear what Mary Kay, how she answered that? First off, Anthony Lima asked her, what sense of direction did you get out of the organization moving forward with the Cleveland Browns quarterback room? In a nutshell, in a sense, Mary Kay said they probably going to stand pat. But you just said all these good things about Kyler Murray on why you should be kicking down the door and kicking down the tires to bring him in. And then you talking about using Myles Garrett as a pawn to go out there and reach out to Kyler Murray because they friends. But then, you know, you don't pay attention because you never listen to what Myles Garrett said. Myles Garrett said Shador Sanders deserves to have first dibs on being quarterback one. Whew. Man. I don't know what else to say, guys. It doesn't look. Listen. You can bring another quarterback in. And the reason why I'm saying you can bring another quarterback in, because you saw what you got in Dylan Gabriel. We don't know if Deshaun Watson is fully ready to compete. So you're going to have to bring in some insurance. But why would you go out there and get a Kyler Murray from what she just stated? He has to be assured that he is going to have the starting position in order for him to sacrifice to come to Cleveland. I will say this firsthand. I will take Kyler Murray with my Minnesota Vikings because he got an opportunity to go over there and start from day one if he signs. He don't have the assurance that he's going to start with the Cleveland Browns. That is Mary Kay out there just throwing that out there. None of them quarterbacks that I've showed you guys. None of the quarterbacks that I've showed you guys, right? Kirk Cousins don't have a guaranteed to start. Malik Willis don't have a guaranteed to start. Mac Jones don't have a guaranteed to start. Ty Simpson don't have a guaranteed to start. Why would you draft another rookie quarterback and guarantee them to start when you got a rookie quarterback that just came off of 7 games, showed you what he's capable of doing, went 3-4 down the stretch, won his first game as a starter against the Las Vegas Raiders, set records, and then he played against the number 1 draft pick, Cam Ward, when they played Tennessee, outshot him, outperformed him, outplayed him. And if it wasn't for Kevin Stefanski's sabotorial things that he did on the 2-point conversion, that would be a historical game for Shador Sanders. And Kevin Stefanski didn't want it to go that way. That was the problem. He threw for over 360-some yards. 3 touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown. The first rookie quarterback in the Super Bowl era outside of Joe Burrows to throw for over 360 yards in a game and 3 receiving touchdowns. Y'all think about it. Y'all think about it. And all the reports that we heard, was Shador Sanders getting first-team reps? Was he leading the scout team? Was he leading the practice squad? No, that was the reason why Shador Sanders was going after practice, going up to the local college, getting in reps. And then when he was thrown in there against the Baltimore Ravens, when Dillon Gabriel went out with a concussion, after the game, all the reports started coming out, surfacing. Shador Sanders was never getting first-team reps. Never getting first-team reps. Shador Sanders was in there working on his own. And for somebody that wasn't getting first-team reps, had no continuity with the first-team unit, like Shador Sanders said, I had to get used to the offensive lineman's cadence. The offensive lineman had to get used to Shador's cadence. He wasn't on time and target with Jerry Jeudy. He alluded to that in the post-game press conference. He told everybody before Kevin Stefanski broke the news, well, this was the first time that I've, thrown to the ones. It was the first time I thrown to the ones. But y'all just want to, it seems like the Cleveland media just wants to bury a hatch on Shador Sanders. Want to bury the hatch. They gave Dillon Gabriel an opportunity to perform and keep that job even when he came back from concussion protocol. But they saw enough of Dillon Gabriel. They said, nope, Dillon Gabriel's not it. They threw Shador in there. First start against the Las Vegas Raiders. We saw the long throw to Isaiah Bond, which Isaiah Bond should have got into the end zone. And he was under duress when he made that throw. We saw all the good things Shador could do in inclement weather. Now what you need to do, like Mary Kay said, we don't know what Kyler Murray can do if he had the pieces around him. That's the same thing with Shador. You give Shador Sanders some pieces around him and an offensive line and let him go to work. Let him go to work. Yeah, Deshaun, I have nothing against Deshaun Watson. I just think coming off an injury like that, it's like, it's going to be difficult for him to get back into the equation. But like I said, we've seen Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders. We saw them conversating on the sideline. We saw Shador Sanders, pouring into Deshaun Watson, getting some, advice from Deshaun Watson on the sidelines of football games. We never saw that with Dillon Gabriel and the rest of the unit. We never saw that. We never saw that. And it's almost like Dillon Gabriel is an afterthought, guys. Like he's an afterthought. That's what I'm saying, Craig. We talked about that earlier before you came in there. That's the same thing Mel Kiper said. Mel Kiper said Shador Sanders proved all y'all wrong because y'all threw him out there in the last part of the season in the frigid cold in the snow, and he outdid his expectations. Shador Sanders can play in inclement weather. We saw that in Colorado. We saw that in the Baylor game. Scrambling left, throwing right in the rain. But you guys remember when Dillon Gabriel played against Miami, they relied solely on the run of Quinshon Judkins. Quinshon Judkins was gashing them because they didn't want Dillon Gabriel to throw the ball in inclement weather. And that was just a little bit of rain. Shador Sanders played in the frigid. He played in the cold. He played in the snow. He did everything that people didn't think he could do. And he outperformed it. He outperformed what the expectations was because there was no limitations on what Shador Sanders could do out there in inclement weather. We saw the game that it was frigid cold out there, and he got his nail ripped off his pinky. Went to the sideline. Dillon Gabriel came in for one play. The fans started booing. Shador Sanders wrapped that thing back up. They wrapped him back up. Shador Sanders came back out there and finished the game. Then they mad because the last 2 games of the season, you beat the Pittsburgh Steelers and you beat the Cincinnati Bengals. You beat your AFC North opponents. You beat them. And that was one of the games that Pittsburgh had to have, but evidently they still got into the playoffs because of the kicker missed the field goal for the Baltimore Ravens to send Pittsburgh to the playoffs. But if the kicker would have made that and Pittsburgh would have got knocked out of the playoffs, they would have looked back to that game against the Cleveland Browns. And Shador Sanders did them in, played spoiler. And then he came back and he outdueled Joe Burrows. And look what the receivers that Joe Burrows had. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Guys, like, look, it's crazy. It's crazy. The weather makes him play better. Like I said, I mean, Deshaun Watson could be a healthy quarterback competition between Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders. And I think Deshaun Watson would push Shador Sanders to be even better. Knowing that you got the little birds out there chirping about Deshaun Watson. That's going to make Shador Sanders step his game up even more. It's going to make him step his game up even more, man. He said after that last second interception, DG has faded to the black. Yeah. Well, we all knew that collusion and all that stuff that was taking place. Take it out on Shador because of Dion. Exactly, Nicole. That's what I said. Sometimes the camera would pan over there and you see Shador Sanders over there talking to Deshaun Watson. Yeah. That's what teammates are for. Exactly. Yep. Well, guys, man, look, man, it's been real. But I'm about to get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I appreciate everybody's support. Appreciate you rocking with me. We had over 153 people in here watching us. Had over 153 people in the chat. Make sure y'all drop a like on the video before y'all get up out of here. And if you watch it on the playback, please hype the video up. Please go check out all the videos that I've dropped this last week. I appreciate you, Nicole. Nicole, I don't know if this is the first time you've been around. Is this the first time? Hey, I'm just asking. Is this the first time you've been in the chat? Or this ain't the first time you've been in the chat? Because you was real active tonight. And, I like to reward a lot of people that be active in the chat. So, since you was real active in the chat tonight, you was chatting and everything, man, I'm going to make you a moderator of the channel, man. So I'm going to give you mod duties. So I'm going to add you as a moderator. Like I said, I like to reward people that participate in the chat and ain't afraid to speak. So now I want y'all to give Nicole a round of applause for becoming a moderator of the Simply Ball Dropping channel. So you have now got mod duties. I appreciate all the love. Appreciate everything that you do for the community. So she is now a mod of the channel. So y'all give her a round of applause. So yeah, that's what we do around here, man. We acknowledge people in the chat, man. We just don't go and bypass people. We always like to reward people for being an active participant in this community. So we do appreciate you, Nicole. Appreciate everybody that, commented on the show, talked about it was a dope show. So we do appreciate it. Marlon Kasi, as always, man, always showing up. Appreciate all my mods that was in the building. ADP in the dark with his smile. Michelle, always showing love. She's been with me since day one. You know what I'm saying? Had a lot of new people in here tonight. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat. Craig Tatum is always doing his thing. Coach CJ888. We've seen a lot of new faces, a lot of new people that chat. Detroit Gemini. I'm on Central Standard Time. So, my show is really, during the weekday or at 6:45 Central Standard Time. That'll be 7:45 Eastern Standard Time. Everybody that chimed in, I appreciate all the love. Like I said, man, this might not be for you. So tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K Sap. We're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.